victory we had was pretty solid and pretty sound, and that starts with the volunteers, the people in this room that got on the phone, made calls, talked to their friends, came to my events, organized meet and greets, and I tell everybody that I could not build the company that we have today without the men and women that I've surrounded myself with at my own company. And I cannot win this race. I couldn't get to where I am today without the men and women in this community that supported me. And thank you very much. I'm very humbled by it. Is that I cannot do it alone. Can't do anything in life alone. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been going around and meeting with various people within the Democratic Party, individuals who did not support me, who backed my opponent, Jonathan Chain. I respect the fact that they made that choice, and I'm trying to unite people behind me right now. It's going relatively well. We still have some more work to do, but what I've explained to them is that I am the candidate. I'm very humbled by that, and the choices are pretty distinct. And you heard me. If somebody saw the Mike Williams show, I made two things that I'll never waver on: choice and equality. And the difference between me and my opponent, Brian Mast, is night and day. He was on the Mark Levin show, calling Mark his mentor, political mentor. And for those of you who know Mark, he's got says you know, any woman who has to make a choice or makes the choice to have an abortion should be locked up in prison for life. Enough said about that, because I had some people from the other party, within our own party, say that they would skip me on the ballot. And I said, well, you got a choice. I can't win this without a total united front within the Democratic Party, and if you skip me, the choice is pretty bad and pretty horrific. So I want everybody in this room to understand that I'm doing everything that I can to unite this party behind me. Tomorrow we have a meeting with Pat Emmerich and the AFL-CIO. We're bringing everybody together. They told me they want to address some issues on labor, some concerns they had with me before. I said I'm open to it, I'm going to listen. The objective is for us to work together. It's a two-way street. I intend to go there very humble and do what I have to do to get the representatives of the various unions and labor behind me, because I do care about labor. We're going to talk. We're going to find a way to bridge the gap that we had, and we're going to move forward and win this election. You've heard everything I care about and I talk about. I think the message that I've sent from day one about families, about the mental health issues that I talk about families with children with special needs, livable wages, vocational education, training, apprenticeship programs, our seniors, when I talk about things like our seniors did not work their whole life going into retirement expecting to be on the SNAP program for getting an extra $125 a month in food stamps just so they can get by. These are the things that resonate. What I tell people is you have to understand things from a global perspective to understand how they affect people in their day-to-day lives. Our veterans in this community, understanding that our veterans in this community go back to the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and World War II, along with the current wars. The challenges are different, unique, but they've all, and I was at an event last night, and with Brian Mast, we were there. It was the Jupiter Farms Homeowners Community Association, 45, 50 people there. And the first thing that I do is I recognize Brian for the tremendous service and sacrifices that he's made for this country. But I also let Brian know that there are many men and women before him, with him, and unfortunately the way the world is today, will have to make those same sacrifices again in the future. I honor him and thank him. But he has said he does not want to be treated differently than anybody else while he's running for office. So I called him on the phone about a week and a half ago, totally caught him off guard. We had a talk, and I said, Brian, you're very tough and you're a very courageous man. You don't want to be treated different than anybody else? Put your gloves on, because you're going to get your wish with me, because if Republicans got $5 or $6 million reserved against me right now. You've seen the ads already. I had a 2-hour sit down with George Bennett today. What we will not do is take a tax lightly. And I told George from the Palm Beach Post, I said, a tax, if they're based on facts, I don't consider them a tax. But when they're based on lies and things that are not true, then those are a tax. So come at me with facts and I'll deal with them all day long. Just to give you an idea, so you understand how we're handling things as a campaign. I am not sitting back and taking things lightly. I am not going to let the Republican monies, millions of dollars come after me and just think it's okay. So we filed a cease and desist letter to the TV station that George was posted on by the Palm Beach Post today. We have a lawsuit ready to file. You have to wait a 5-day period before you can file the lawsuit. It is ready to go because it's based on fiction and lies, and it's not true. Some of the things that I've been accused about in this thing, if I own them, let me tell you, to be very clear, I will own them. It is true. I'll explain it, and we're going to move on. You're not going to catch me in a lie because I'm not going to keep the lie going. If we did something in my business career and I'm being accused of it, I'm going to own it and I'm going to move on. So nobody in this room has to worry about this candidate in front of you backtracking and getting caught in something. Well, I said it, I didn't mean it. I'm going to own it and move on because I don't think it's fair to you. Anybody supporting me, they can be caught off guard or anything. And the attacks are coming, and they're coming hard. I can promise you that. As you know, my opponent said I got a lot of Republican friends. He accused me of that the whole time. Well, he's right. So I'm getting calls from people in Washington, D.C. that I've known for years saying, Randy, it's coming. I know what some of the commercials look like, and we're ready for it. But yesterday, how much time do I have? I don't want to just...
Another 10 minutes.
Okay. Oh. Let me take a deep breath because I'm ready. So we're sitting there yesterday, and he got in this argument with somebody asked about constitutional law and state rights and this and that. And then we got it, he was all over the place. And when I got up, and we had 10 minutes for questions and answers. After 7 minutes, nobody else. When he got up, he had a standing ovation. When I got up, a couple of claps. And it was reversed when we were done. Because I brought it back to things that are local and things that are important in people's lives. I said, Brian, you talk about balanced budget amendment. But then you talk about not touching Social Security and not touching the military. Well, you had a problem with that, Brian. You don't understand how government works. That's not an option for you. You can't say I want to cross it, because when you want that, it's across the board cuts. Everybody's getting cut across the board. So you have to understand what you're talking about. And he talks about, I don't like big government. He went on and on about it. I said, okay, Brian, I don't like big government either. I want efficient government. But sometimes government works. The GI Bill that's been so beneficial to you, that's big government. So you can't pick and choose what you can't say I want to wipe out big government when you're the benefactor to where government works when it works well. You also want to take away, he went on and on about Obamacare. Listen, I'm the first one that will tell you that there are a lot of things that work really well in Obamacare, if you will, and there are things that haven't worked well. In my own company, our health insurance has gone up 34% in the last 2 years. But when we sit in our company, there's two things when we do our budgets every year that are never touched. It's health care, which we pay 100% for the employee, and the family, and match 401k.
Wow.
Those two things are sacred cows that don't get touched. We cut travel, we cut sports tickets, we cut meals. You're not staying at the Marriott. Now you're staying at a Holiday Inn Express. You're not flying American. You're flying Southwest, because those two things never get touched. And when you talk to Brian, and we go through these things, yesterday he's trying to move. He's describing himself as a moderate. Yesterday, I said, well, it's a little too late for that. Your own words. He is right of Allen West, for goodness sake. How do you get there? But what I'm trying to explain to people in this district is that I care about families, I care about seniors, and I said, Brian, I'm as passionate about you as keeping this country safe and our military and giving our men and women the right equipment, the right technology, the right airplanes, the right warships. You and I are going to differ on that. But the money has to come from somewhere, and you have to understand how government works. And you can't just turn a light switch on and off and say everything we've been doing that's worked effectively, like the WIC program that I was on 32 years ago, that's just as important today as it was 30. You cannot just switch the thing. And what I tell people, so you understand, is this: I truly believe that every family, whether it's a grandmother taking care of her grandchildren, a single mother that's just looking for opportunity, working class families, I want to provide the opportunities. I truly believe that families don't want to be dependent on the government. They want to be able to take care of themselves. But we have to help people get there that are less fortunate than me, and clearly that's a lot of people less fortunate than me, and I recognize that. So I just want everybody to rest assured, we went to work Wednesday morning after the primary, just like we did 10 months ago, we have not stopped. Our team hasn't stopped. Alex hasn't stopped. Jake hasn't stopped. We are running hard 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. We will not be outspent. We will not be outworked, and we will not be outmessaged. And my opponent is going to have to. He's actually going to have to know what he's talking about, because there's a lot of things I don't know, and I'm learning those very quickly. But he is a talking points candidate, and he's running against somebody who is not going to let him get away with that. So I need the support. Anybody that wasn't with me before, I'm humbly asking for you to get them behind me, because if I don't get 100% of this party behind me, it's going to be very difficult to win this race. I will do what I need to do with the independents and the moderate Republicans who actually have some common sense in their head. But I can't do it without my party, and I cannot do it without the people in this room. So thank you very much.